if I file bankruptcy, is this going to destroy my credit score? That's a question I get a lot from people thinking about filing bankruptcy. And it's because of these credit card companies out there have created this myth. None of that is true. So in today's video, we're going to unpack what it really does and means to your credit score when you file bankruptcy. Let's take a step back. We have three major credit bureaus:
Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
And these credit bureaus are going to each weigh, in a different way, your worthiness to take on debt. So each of these different companies, like TransUnion, they come up with their own special formula, and they spend millions and millions of dollars refining these formulas. They change them all the time.
We take all the information we know about you and turn it into a numerical score that will indicate if you should be lent money.
So how do they base these scores? Well, of course, it's a secret formula, but we know a lot of important things about it. First, your income is a big part of it. If you earn $10,000 a year, they're going to be a lot stricter about lending requirements than if you earn $200,000 a year. Another big part of your credit score is your repayment history. If you've been making payments over time, your credit score gets better. And that's a big reason why people get so protective of their credit scores. Clients come in, they've spent years building up this score. They've been making their payments. They've been doing everything they can. And then something bad happens. Job loss, divorce, medical event, something requiring them to think about bankruptcy. And they're concerned. Is this going to destroy this credit score that I've been working so hard on? All right, here's another component. This is your debt to income ratio. Most of my clients who are thinking about bankruptcy do not have a good debt to income ratio. If they did, they wouldn't be thinking about filing bankruptcy. This isn't always maxed out credit cards. Sometimes it can be. Oftentimes it's a loan repossession where there's still a lot of debt owed, or some personal loans. Payday loans don't generally report to credit bureaus, so we don't see that. But the more that you've extended your credit and not been able to repay it back, you might be making minimum payments, but the more that your total debt is increased, the lower your credit score is getting. And this is pre-bankruptcy. As your debt increases, your score goes down. Why? Because when somebody else goes to loan you money, they're going to be standing at the end of the line behind all those other people who are already waiting to get your money. So let's talk about what bankruptcy does. First and foremost, this is going to stop all that debt collection. And at the end of the bankruptcy, you're going to get a discharge, eliminating all that bad debt off your credit report. What's that going to do? It's going to immediately increase your debt to income ratio because you're not going to have any bad debt on there anymore. You might still have a car loan. You might still have a mortgage on there, but all that bad debt is gone. So I have had plenty of clients just by fixing that debt to income ratio with bankruptcy immediately see a boost in their credit score, not a downturn. Now, another thing that's really important to do here, when you get your bankruptcy discharge, the court will mail copies of this to all the creditors. And then once each creditor receives it, they have 30 days to update all three of the credit bureaus and say, hey, this isn't a debt we're collecting on anymore. We know there's a bankruptcy discharge. We're not in line to get this person's money anymore. Well, they have 30 days to do that. What if they don't? There's a whole set of laws out there called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And this governs creditors having responsibilities. They're responsible to report accurately. And what happens if they don't? You get to sue them. And here at my law firm, we don't handle these, but we refer them to a very talented law firm that does. Because if you have a creditor And this is bankruptcy or non-bankruptcy. But if you have a creditor that's not accurately reporting your debt payments or your debt status or your discharge, that hurts your credit score. Those are damages, and that creditor needs to be sued. That will fix your credit score. On top of that, I have a resource for all of my clients. For all of my clients, we purchase a credit rebuilding program. It's called 7 Steps to a 720 Credit Score. 7 Steps to 720. And what this program does is it's educational. It's designed to walk you through what is it you need to do to get your score from its current level up to a 720. They pick 720 because they really can do it, but also because it sounds nice. If you've currently got a 740, don't worry about it going down. But the concept here is any person can get their credit score up because it's just a mathematical formula. That's what it is. You've got 3 credit bureaus coming up with their own formula on how to evaluate creditworthiness. And keep in mind, these formulas are changing all the time. So we want to connect you with an expert who's staying in the loop on these. So in conclusion, what is bankruptcy really going to do to my credit score? Well, over time, it's going to make your credit score go up as you eliminate those bad debts. It's not going to destroy your credit score. Now, is this going to take a little bit of work? Yeah, it may take a little bit of work to fix that credit score. I'm not going to lie. You're going to need to make new payments. You're going to need to make sure your credit report is clean. But by eliminating all those bad debts, it's a path to hope and it's a path to the future for you. But I do want to leave you with one more thought. A lot of people come in and they are so worried about their credit score that they forget that they should be worried about the debt collectors. If your credit score goes down, people aren't going to lend you money or you're going to pay a higher interest rate. I don't want to minimize that and say that's bad. But if you don't pay your debt collectors, they can sue you. They can garnish 25% of your wages here in Oklahoma. They can put a lien on your house. They can force you to go to asset hearings. They can make your life miserable. So what I want to leave you with is one last big picture bit of perspective. Fixing your credit score is great and it's important, but getting out of debt is even more important. Get out of debt first, fix your credit score second, and you're going to be set for financial freedom.